Hi, this is Luke Wonk here from Luke for Cowboys, and today I'm going to do a video on the top 10 tech devices of 2010. There's a lot of 10s in there. I'd like to say, before we start this video, that I have a few updates for you. Last week, you might have heard or seen the video. It's like the Star Wars words going into space. I did an update telling you guys that I'm not going to be doing any videos in January due to exams, but the videos will start as soon as February starts. Sounds kind of weird. February, I will have new videos, and if you didn't hear, I'm going to be starting to do Blu-ray unboxings, which is kind of different since I'm just unboxing a disc. But there's a lot of views on that, so I think there might be some audience for interest in that. So that's just a few updates I have. And now that we're done with the updates, I'm going to proceed into the video and present to you the top 10 devices of 2010. By the way, this video is not just having me. It will include Shahriar Ahmadi from MicroAppTech. If you haven't heard of MicroAppTech, I will post the link in the sidebar, probably down below, and you can check him out. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the video.
Hi there, it's Shahriar Ahmadi from MicroAppTech. Well, as Luke said before, we are doing a video together. Before I do that, I'm going to introduce myself a little bit, because if you don't know me. Well, as I make videos about technology, I review them, I unbox them, I do anything, try them out, and show you guys how it works.
Hi, as we just said in our last sequence, we said we are going to be listing for you our thoughts on the top 10 devices of 2010. We think that for number 10, that spot goes to the Google Internet TV. I have 5 facts here on the screen that I want to present to you. This is much more than any Apple TV or other web TV device. It brings rich media to the TV where, for instance, you can watch your cable and it's a regular TV, except you have all your media and photos and everything on the side. Just like the Apple TV, except the Apple TV has no cable. It will be running an Android-based software with Google Chrome integrated. Pretty cool. Sort of like Apple TV, how Apple TV has a sort of iOS on it, because the own companies like their own softwares. It has a fast internet connection, which is recommended depending on the content you want. Just a shout out to the people that do not or still do not have any internet connection in their house. We don't think this is for you. Google TV will be able to be controlled by your Android devices, and many of the apps for Android devices will be available to be used on Google TV. So those are some facts on the Google TV, and we think that it deserves the 10th spot because it hasn't generated enough buzz for it to be pushed forward to the higher categories or higher numbers in the list. We still think it's a pretty good device since it made the list of the top 10 devices. But we still think it needs to get more reputation, and we think that more people have to discover it before we can just put it higher into the list. So that's our thoughts on the Google TV. Next up is the Apple TV with Shahriar Ahmadi. Thank you.
As Luke just explained, number 10 was the Sony Internet TV. Number 9 is the Apple TV itself. The Apple TV is so-so, as we might say. It does have an HDMI output on the back, and it is capable of going to YouTube and downloading stuff from iTunes. And if you want to put something on there, you have to bring it from iTunes. It is strict. And that's why we put it on number 9. It is a pretty good device. It's not customizable, and it's not easy to put things inside. You still have to put stuff from iTunes in it, just like the other devices from Apple. And that's why we think that should be number 9. And coming up next, Luke for the BlackBerry Torch.
Hey, as Shahriar just stated, he has presented to us the Apple TV, and he gave us a very good reason on why the Apple TV deserves the number 9th spot. I just want to say I'm sorry for the quality of the video if it's not that good. Our actually HD camera broke, so I'm going to have to use the MacBook Pro, the camera in the MacBook Pro, the iSight camera. So anyways, our 8th device is the BlackBerry Torch. I'm not too fond of the BlackBerry Torch, but I have played with it for a bit. I had it as a cell phone for about 2 weeks to try out from RIM, and I think that if we compare it to the iPhone, it's not so good. But I think as a new product release into the market this year, it definitely deserves the number 8th spot, most likely because it did generate a lot of buzz, and it's still a pretty good phone. I mean, a lot of people, the sales are going up, and a lot of people are purchasing it, and we think that it deserves the 8th spot just because of the sheer physical design of the phone. We think that the software, all combined together, creates the perfect BlackBerry experience. The BlackBerry Bold or Torch is the newest BlackBerry in the BlackBerry line. Actually, I think the Bold 9800 is or the 9780 is the newest phone in the line, but we still think it's a pretty good phone. So BlackBerry Torch, number 8. Up next with Shahriar, up next is Shahriar with number 7 with the 4th generation iPod Touch.
As Luke just explained number 8, I'm going to do number 7, the 4th generation iPod Touch. The iPod Touch. Now, the iPod Touch came out this year with a much better screen, 4 times the pixel counting, and as always, they came out with a 16, 32, and a 64 gigabyte hard disk drive, and it's a solid state drive. It's not those spinning CDs inside, but we are looking at a much strict thing that you must update it by iTunes. You must put music in it by iTunes. You have to put music, videos, and everything from iTunes. That's one thing. And another thing is that the sales are going pretty high on the iPod Touch. Why the new cameras that are on it, the 720p camera on the back and the new camera on the front. And coming up next is the iPod Nano.
That's right. Number 6 on the list is the iPod Nano. We think that this really redesigned the whole iPod Nano. Steve Jobs mentioned they cut out the entire circular, click wheel, and designed it to be a multi-touch capacitive touchscreen. It really reduced the size and introduced new features like clocks, this band at the back which you can clip on. Some people are actually clipping it onto the wrist and actually making a little watch there. We think that it really shot up the sales for Apple. A lot of people are turning to this instead of the iPod Touch. If they want a touchscreen, but they don't want the games, they just want touchscreen, it's a great alternative. We think that this deserves the number 6th spot because it also sort of really buzzed. There was a major buzz about it. Everyone was saying, why did they destroy the click wheel and all that? But we think that because of the buzz, it really generated sales and success in sales, and we think it deserves the number 6th spot. Hi, we think that the 5th spot goes to the MacBook Air. We think this because as they redesigned the whole computer, they minimized the screen size, they made it thinner, they reduced the price, and they also released 2 different versions, including the 11-inch and the 13-inch version. Thus, by doing all of that, created much more buzz and a higher sales rate. The overall buzz and success of the new iPod or of the new MacBook Air is much bigger than the sales that were of the first generation MacBook Air. We think by them releasing 2 different versions and also reducing the price, it really set out a new sort of line for people to buy. I guess people thought that the MacBook Air was too expensive before, but now that they released these 2 versions, smaller and also cheaper, it might also create an alternative to the first starter models. Let's say MacBook, people can now say, well, the starter Macs are the MacBook and the 13-inch MacBook Air. So that really created a buzz and also a higher sales rate. Alright, please check out the part 2 video for the rest of the countdown.